Meanwhile, some lawmakers are thinking that our current Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, should resign for straight up lying about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So that's the man we're talking about here. And one representative who's a Democrat, Robert Garcia, said that Lutnick said he had no interactions with Epstein after 2005. Lutnick was in interviews on the New York Post podcast back in October last year. And Lutnick said that after visiting Epstein's townhouse in 2005, he and his wife decided at that point, I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Is that the sound that we have?
That's what we
Can you play it? Here from
So
him.
I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
He's gross.
Gross.
I would never.
That's
I
what
would
one,
never
that's what
be
one
here.
gross person says to another gross person. That's exactly what nasty people say to nasty people right there.
So Lutnick said that Epstein showed him and his wife a massage room and made comments about massages during a tour of his house. And that's when Lutnick said he and his wife cut ties with Epstein. He's gross. Never wants to see him again. And a Department of Commerce spokesperson said Lutnick had very limited interactions with Epstein over the next 14 years. So plot twist, here come the Epstein files with documents not only showing that Lutnick and Epstein bought stakes in a tech company together back in 2012, but that Lutnick planned a whole family trip to Epstein Island with his wife and kids in the same year. Look at this.
Crazy.
2012. That would have been 4 years after Epstein was convicted for child sexual abuse back in 2008.
Right, but you claim that you kept your distance away from him. You claim you never even talked to the guy after you met him that first time, and here you are being on a whole vacation. Is crazy to me. On a whole vacation is crazy to me.
So, yeah, now the Democrats are speaking out about this. We've got some ex posts that we've found, and this is just a couple, and it's kind of bipartisan at this point. Ted Lieu said, hey, Howard Lutnick, you could have remained silent about the Epstein files. Instead, you actually chose to go on national TV and lie to the American people. You were despicable then for planning a visit to Epstein Island, and you're despicable now for brazenly lying. You should resign. There was another one. Who is that from? Robert Garcia. It's now clear that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has been lying about his relationship with Epstein. He said he had no interactions with Epstein after 2005. Now we know they're in business together. He's got to resign or be fired. What are we talking about here? We've seen people in Europe rolling for this. People resigning, people under investigation. And here it's like so unserious. It's kind of insane.
It is very insane. And their whole entire argument is just because these files came out doesn't mean that somebody is guilty. They're saying that because somebody's name is in this file and associated with Epstein, you're not guilty of association of just being friends with Epstein. And I think about it, I'm like, dang, I mean, if we're thinking logically, if we're thinking legally, they kind of make a point there.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't be just guilty based off of association. We actually have to have proof. Like him actually going to hang out with Epstein doesn't mean that he's like the most evil guy, but you were around the most evil guy.
Come
so
on
it's
now.
still kind of
Yeah.
sketchy. It's still kind of sketchy.
But our parents taught us very young, you are who you hang around.
Yes.
Watch who you hang around. I've learned that throughout my entire life. You are guilty by association. When somebody goes down, you might not have done the crime, but you were there with the people that did the crime,
Yeah.
and you ain't say nothing. That's just like, and I'm about to use a relationship term, that's just like if you hanging out with the homies and your homies start cheating and you don't say nothing, but the girl find out that you was with my man while he was cheating and you didn't tell me. It's like, no, it wasn't me cheating. It was like, no, but you was with him and you could have said something. So you could have stopped the whole in there.
Yeah.
But I say that to say, bro, regardless of if these people were doing things or not doing things, bro, it's guilty by association. And you were hanging around somebody that was doing terrible things.
Yeah.
Now, I'm with you on that, Dale. I promise you I am. But the only pushback I would give to that, the only pushback that I've heard, and we can make an example just like you did. Imagine we all grew up around people that was bad. We grew up around folks that was in gangs before, doing the wildest stuff. Just because I hang out with them didn't mean that I was a part of the gang.
For sure.
Doesn't mean that when they get into crimes, I'm going to get into crime. So it's kind of sketchy. When you think of it like that, it's like, I mean, I guess there is a point to that. I can't get in trouble for them causing a crime and me, I'm still going to school, but they skip
Yeah.
it. Who's to say that I could get in trouble? Why do I have to get in trouble?
Go ahead, Lon.
Well, I was just going to say, I do agree with that at the same time. Like, if I'm surrounded by people who are accused of being pedos, and I just, I had no idea that all these people around me just happened to be floating around
Mm-hmm.
pedo accusations. You know what I mean? It's like, at least what does that say about my character that
Exactly.
these are the people I found friendship in? What are you relating to in them that all y'all happen to be friends?
Exactly. At some point, they had to make a conscious decision to stay and keep going back
Right.
and keep hanging out and keep. After the first hangout for me would have been like, I'm good. I'm going to leave and never come back.
And he was convicted
Like-
for child sex
like-
crimes. And people were still hanging out. That was what they're saying about this guy. 2012, we're hanging out. That was 4 years after he went down for child sex crimes and was in jail for it. What's his face? Thomas Massey, the Republican lawmaker. He said that Lutnick, he should resign for this because Prince Andrew lost his title for less than what we've seen Howard Lutnick lie about. So these two, I'm telling you, Ro Khanna, who's a Democrat, and Thomas Massey, who's a Republican, are probably going to go down in history for how much they have been pressing for the truth here and trying to expose everybody. But they now said that they have gotten to see the unredacted Epstein files, as lawmakers were recently allowed to do, as far as like yesterday. And they claimed that at least 6 men are being protected by those redactions. And they found that out within hours of being able to see it. They found out what our FBI has been just like, oh, I can't find anybody who might be implicated in this. Oh, yeah, I can. Oh, I got 6 of them right here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they are now saying, look, we've seen at least one U.S. citizen, one foreign national, 3 or 4 others whose nationalities were unclear. But Massey said one of them was pretty high up in a foreign government. Another one is a pretty prominent individual, but they wouldn't name the people at first. They were saying, hey, the DOJ needs to name them. They need to unredact these names. Massey said he wanted to give the DOJ a chance to correct what he was just going to say was an over-redaction. Maybe this wasn't done on purpose, wasn't a cover-up on purpose. Maybe you guys just, over-redacted on accident, and let me give you a chance to correct that. Or there's a possibility, hint, hint, that names could just be dropped in a committee hearing on the House floor because we've now seen the names. And several lawmakers said they saw several examples, lots of examples about over-redactions. And so that's something that they were not allowed to do. If they had any redactions, it was only supposed to be for the victims, and it was supposed to be explained why they redacted these people in like 15 days after they released it. So one name that then got revealed when redactions came off was Lex Wexner. And even Elon Musk said, oh, look at this. Lex Wexner has just been revealed to be a co-conspirator of Epstein in the files. And that is a billionaire and former Victoria's Secret CEO. So Elon Musk was going off on Steve Bannon saying, hey, this is Trump's former campaign manager, was like running his campaign. Why are you surrounded by people who are just wrapped up in these accusations? And at what point it just seems like everybody's turning on each other. At what point do we take this seriously?
Yeah. Everybody.
Hey, throw him under the bus. Don't look over here. Don't look over here.
Yeah, everybody's just pointing fingers at everybody, bro. Everybody's just pointing fingers at everybody. You're right.
It's crazy. Okay, well, we have a lot more stories to talk about other than the Epstein files, and we will bring those to you after this break.